Hello, everyone. Welcome to Baltimore Talk Series. I'm Sushma Bhosle, who is from Baltimore Coordinators Group. So, this is our fifth in-person and online talk. And this is focused more on health and life science, life management, lifestyle management. And our speaker today is Dr. Vikram Pattarkine. Uh, Mostly all of you know about him, and he's very renowned and famous personality. He's a chemical environmental engineer. He's a PhD in environmental engineering from Virginia Tech. He was at leadership role at various areas like consulting, manufacturing, research, and technology development. Dr. Patrakeni is a keen student of yoga, Bhagavad Gita, and Vedanta. He and his team runs online lifestyle management program called Sattva, where people get guidance on diet purification, yoga, spirituality in today's world. He has given lots of talks in many countries and speaks regularly on environment, yoga, Vedanta, and Bhagavad Gita. So Baltimore Marathi Mandal is very grateful to him to accept this and come over here for this talk. I'm really thankful to you, Dr. Patrakeni, and I welcome you to start with this talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushma, for that introduction. We have a few people. In our Zoom meeting as well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Fantastic. So I've been invited to talk about simple principles for joyful living. Okay. So let me start with a story about this program. I think that's interesting because last weekend in Baltimore, there was a big storm and there was supposed to be a big Marathi Mandal event for Ganeshotsav, for the Ganesha festival. That festival had to be postponed because of the storm. And then the Marathi Mandal decided that they would have it this Saturday, today. So Sushma was extremely nervous picking up the phone and telling me about this. And I said, Sushma, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I, as the speaker, get upset because of this event, okay, because there was a storm and that's why we have to postpone our program, or there is a conflict and we cannot do our program, and because of that, if I get upset or if I get unhappy, then I disqualify myself from talking about simple principles for joyful living, correct? I said, Sushma, relax. And Sushma could not believe that this would be my reaction. I said, Sushma, I still love you. Okay.
Practice what you preach.
Exactly. You know, we plan on so many things. But when we execute it and when we expect a certain result, 5 things have to come together. One is, of course, our sankalpa, which is our intention. Secondly, the doer. I, the doer, have to do it, right? Thirdly, we have to have all the equipment, wherewithal, tools to get it done. Fourth is the environment in which it's going to happen, the kshetra. And then the fifth and very important thing is the daiva, which means the destiny, which is not in our hands. Okay, for example, this storm was not in our hands. Sushma is not responsible for the storm. I am not responsible for the storm. So why should I or Sushma be upset about it? Sushma just had the unenviable task of picking up the phone and calling the speaker and telling him, you cannot do it this Saturday. I said, listen, how about we give this hall to the Marathi Mandal so that they can do their program here? Would that work? But she said, no, this hall is going to be very small for them. I said, listen, Sushma, the people who have been preparing for this big event of Ganeshotsav and their families and their kids, if they are not able to perform during that event, they are going to be very upset. It's only me versus them. So who should take the back seat? And in any case, who likes to listen to Vedanta on a Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon? Very few people, right? These talks happen all the time. It's not that if I don't give the talk today, I'll be unhappy, or if we do it next time, whenever people come, we will talk about it. These are very simple principles about joyful living that we want to talk about. See, most of us don't really know what we want. What is our motivation in life? Most people think, even I used to think, that if you get things in the world, if you acquire things, if you acquire possessions, or if you are with nice people, these are relations. So most people think that acquisitions, possessions, and relations will make them happy. And we think that our happiness or joy is dependent upon desha, kala, vastu, vyakti, and paristhiti. These are the 5 different factors on which we think our happiness is dependent. Desha is, we live in America, so America is the desh, or Bharat is the desh, right? So when we were in Bharat, we used to think, it would be nice if we can go to America, right? But then we come to America and we find out that the challenges here are just as bad. And there are different kinds of challenges, but there are challenges nevertheless, right? So Desha doesn't change anything. Kala. Okay, so we think that in our childhood, things were better. In the future, things will be better. And right now, things are challenging. So our Swamiji always tells, when people tell, these days there are so many challenges. There are, all these bad things happening all over the world, wars happening and all that. So then Swamiji will ask them, before you were born, how were things? Oh, they were great, right? Now you tell me in the future, can they be any worse than this? No way. They are the worst possible now. Okay. In the past, were you there? No, I was not there. In the future, are you going to be there? No, I'm not going to be there. So right now, things are bad because of you. See, we experience life, or we experience whatever we experience only while we are alive, right? So before that, we don't know. After we are gone, we don't know. Kal. So we think that our happiness is dependent upon Kal. Yesterday things were better. Today they are not as good. Tomorrow they will be better. Vastu, I like to have an iPhone. This is my earplug case. So if I have an iPhone, then I'll be very happy. That's what I think. So I go and shop around, either on Amazon or in some shop or whatever, and we find out what is the best deal. Okay, then we get that phone, and then for some time we are very happy. But then after about 6 months or a year, the new iPhone comes into the market, right? And then we are not as happy with the earlier iPhone that we had. So then, even with that thing, happiness is only a short-term proposition, right? It's short-lived. Desha kala vastu vyakti. Now you tell me that how many people we come in contact with. Now, some people we are always happy with, and some people we want to be in company with. Only those people we want to be in company with who have very similar interests. Otherwise, after some time, if the interests are different, then the relationships also go away, right? And then paristhiti, the atmosphere or the environment. So we think that our happiness is dependent upon the environment. That's not true. How do we experience the environment? You tell me. Let's say this current environment, how are we experiencing it? I'm standing before you. How are you experiencing me? The way you are experiencing me is through 2 different sensations. One sensation is the sensation of your vision, and the second sensation is the sensation of sound. Those are the only 2 sensations you are experiencing right now. Okay. So light is falling on my body. It's reflected through through the atmosphere, and then you see it in your eyes. Within your eyes, on the retina, there is an image, inverted image, that goes into your vision center, and something happens in your vision center, and you experience the run in front of you. So this is the vision. Secondly, voice is coming out of my mouth. It's going to you and then into your ears. The eardrums are vibrating. Then that vibration is going into your audio center. There something is happening. So all you're experiencing is those 2 sensations. So the world actually comes to us in terms of 5 sensations: Shabda, sound; Sparsha, touch; Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, vision; Rasa, taste; and Gandha, with the nose. So those are the 5 sensations we are always experiencing. And we are comparing current sensations with all the sensations we have had in the past. This is happening in real time. I'm giving you AI funda. Okay, AI works on this same principle. Are you an AI? IT. Okay. So the current experience we have is compared with all the past experiences we have. And then we'll see, okay, this compares with that, and therefore this is this. This is how we learn things. So we are experiencing the world only as that. So where is the world happening? Is the world outside or is the world inside? See, whatever we are experiencing inside us is what we are actually experiencing. And what appears to be outside is a reflection of that. But imagine the outside is not there or the inside is not there. How is this whole thing happening? This whole thing is happening as interdependent reality. It's very relative. Unless the outside world exists, I cannot experience it. And unless I experience it, the outside world doesn't exist for me. Right? So our experience is very personal. What we are always looking for is this inner experience is always pleasant. This is what our aim is. So this is what we are always looking for. Right? So that's the motivation for all of us. We all want to be happy at all times. We all want to be joyful at all times. But is our joy dependent upon these five things? We think it is dependent on these five things, but that's not true. What happens is whenever we have a desire for a thing, there is a tension in our mind. I want this, I want this, I want this. And then I acquire it. Once I acquire it, then the desire is fulfilled. But the time at which the desire is fulfilled, at that same time, the desire is also eliminated. So once I have this, then I don't have a desire for this anymore because this is mine now. Correct? We think that happiness is happening because of fulfillment of desire, but joy actually happens because of the elimination of desire. That's what happens. This is our mistake. So what we seek is actually within us, but we are thinking or we are imagining that that thing is outside of us and it is dependent. So as long as our joy is dependent upon something, we cannot be happy always, because that thing will disappear at some point. Anything that is created will be destroyed, including this earth, including this sun. Everything will be destroyed at some point. Right? We may not be around. We will be destroyed before that. Our body will be destroyed. Our body gets destroyed every moment. See, when we breathe in, we take in oxygen. So some molecules of oxygen have gone in, correct? Then they are interacting with carbon in our body, and then some carbon dioxide is getting expelled as we exhale, correct? So at the molecular level, our body is changing every moment. But we don't experience that change, right? Things around us keep changing all the time. So I've been speaking for about 10 minutes. Where is that conversation now? Those 10 minutes don't exist right now. They are gone, right? They are only a memory right now. They're only a memory. The past is always a memory. Now think of this memory as memory number one of the 10 minutes of this conversation. Now, suppose you had a dream last night. How do you know about it now? Right now, it doesn't exist. It's also a memory. So that's memory number two. So what is the difference between memory number one and memory number two? Nothing. They are both memories. They are both virtual. Are they not? What does that mean? That means that even this waking experience is like a dream. The one who understands and recognizes this waking experience like a dream is the one who is truly awake. When do we know the dream to be a dream? In the dream is very real. In the dream, if some tiger is chasing us, we are very afraid. We run, our heartbeat goes up, we sweat. But then, as soon as the tiger jumps on us, we wake up. And then we realize, okay, this was just a dream. Correct? So when we wake up from the dream, we realize that the dream was a dream, but until then, the dream was real. In the same manner, waking experience is also wonderful until some accident happens. And then we will start questioning, what is this going on? Then we start questioning, who am I? Why am I here? What is this world? What is the purpose of the world? What are we doing here? Then the real motivation will start appearing in our heart. So the first question, which we were going to discuss about, what motivates us? Yes.
Let's ask individuals if they can see you well and they can listen.
Yeah, they can see me very well. Yeah.
So can we move this a little bit over here, because here you're appearing as a sign.
Is it? Let me see. Is that okay?
Now this is better.
No, I wanted to
It was
see
very
you
loud.
as well as them at the same time. So that's, and then you cannot hold it here, right? So
So then it becomes
दिसतंय
दिसतंय ना?
दिसतंय बरोबर हो
So sometimes I watch you and sometimes I watch them. So that's why it's
that's okay yeah
okay, no? No problem. Okay.
हो
Let
हो
us see.
प्रॉब्लेम नाही काय
Let me see if I can get this here. Is that good?
see he's asking
Can you see
me
me okay now?
हो हो
आवाज येतोय का हे पण विचारा.
Oh, आवाज येतात ना. I can
आवाज
hear all of
येतोय
them. Fantastic. Thank you.
Sure.
So this was the first topic on our agenda, right? Our first topic was what motivates us. Then second topic was what is success? How do we define success? You know, we think that whenever we achieve some desire, whenever we achieve some goal, that is when we have succeeded, right? What is success is, now let's talk about Karthik, my brother here. He is a cricketer. Okay, he is a great cricketer. He bats very well. He bowls also very well. So when you hit a boundary, or when you win a match, for example, what really happens? Something happens within you, because even if you hit a boundary, for example, that event doesn't make everybody equally happy. It makes you happy, it makes your team happy, but it makes the opposition unhappy. Correct? So the event is the same, but then it doesn't give the same kind of happiness to everybody. Correct? So what is success? Success is very subjective. Success is very, I would say, and relative too. Some people may think that success means in old age, success means to be able to stand up and be able to walk. That could be success. So our definition of success will change as we go within our life, right? So success can be different at different times for different people. But ultimately, success is you should be able to sleep peacefully at night. When I was in college, people used to ask me, Vikram, what would you like to achieve in life? I used to say that my only goal in life is I should be able to sleep well every night. And that is still my goal. And usually when I go to bed, I lie down for about a minute or so in Shavasana, and then I'm out. And then I wake up and I get up when I wake up. Usually it's about 5 to 6 hours. At this age, I'll talk about certain environmental principles which will explain to you why this happens. Okay. What was the third point in our talk? So what is success? What motivates us? What is success? And then how do we achieve success? It must be. I usually have a cheat sheet in front of me. My cheat sheet is in my phone and I'm using my phone. Huh?
How to be joyful all
Correct. How to be joyful all the time. How to achieve your goals and how to be joyful all the time. You see, we can only achieve those goals that we are capable of. Correct? So, for example, if I think I love cricket, for example, and I would like to bat like Sachin Tendulkar, that's a nice desire to have. But I should also recognize and appreciate my own limitations, right? So, you cannot achieve everything in the world. In fact, all the worldly desires are dependent, as I said, on those 5 different things, right? It also depends upon my own capability. So I should recognize what I'm capable of. I should recognize what I can actually achieve, work hard towards those goals. And of course, those that are within my capability, I will achieve those goals. It's not that I will not achieve those goals, but the ultimate goal in human life. See, there are 4 fundamental goals in human life. First goal is, of course, we want to be in a pleasant sort of situation at all times, right? Pleasure. Pleasure is the primary goal of almost every animal. In fact, we used to do an experiment in, did you do the experiment in microbiology? Where you take a bunch of microbes in a drop of water on the slide, right? And then you heat the slide from one side, all the bacteria will go to the other side. So even at the single cell level, everybody wants to be in a state of equilibrium and joy, right? So from that all the way to us, all creatures will always want to live in joy, okay, in a state of pleasure at all times. So if I'm hungry, then if I eat, then I'm pleased. If I'm full, then I have to stop. Then I'm pleased. Then I have to digest that food, right? So these things change from time to time, place to place. So this is pleasure. Pleasure is the sensation we have in all five senses when the world touches our five senses, right? That's pleasure. When we are done with that, then the next thing we always want to achieve is name, fame, fortune. That's what we want to achieve. That's more mental. That's all in the mind, right? So first is pleasure, the body desires. The second is mental. But then if everybody is trying to achieve those same goals, then there will be friction. So my pursuit of achieving my goals should not impede your pursuit of achieving those same goals, right? So in order to make sure that that doesn't happen, we want to have certain rules. Living according to those rules, living according to those laws is the third pursuit in human life. So I'm telling you about first was kama, second is dharma, and the third is second was artha, and the third is dharma. And the fourth goal, that is the most important, which is underlying all of these goals. Through all of these goals, we want to achieve joy or happiness. That's the ultimate goal of human life. That is moksha. The term moksha in Sanskrit really implies mohatsa kshay. Moha means we are under the delusion of thinking that we are somebody who we are not. That is called moha. Moha means we assume that we are something which we are not. Okay, I have to give you an example, then only you will realize that. Okay, so right now I am a speaker. I'm playing the role of a speaker. But if I carry over my role as a husband, and if I had a fight with my wife in the morning, which I did not, of course, she was happy to let me go, and she said, "Okay, good luck with your speech." She was also going to come here, but she had something else to do, so that's why she could not come. But if I carry my role as a husband with me and carry that over as a speaker, then I will not be doing justice to my role as a speaker. So, as a speaker at this time, I should be a speaker. At this time, you are a listener or you are a participant in this program. So, you should be that. If you are thinking that what is going to happen to my daughter once I go back, or if I'm thinking what am I going to cook for dinner in the evening, then you are not a speaker, or then you are not a listener. So, wherever we are, whenever we are, whatever we are, if we can be there 100%, that's what we should always be doing. If we get deviated from that, and if we mix our roles, then we could be in trouble. This classic trouble is described in the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjun, the hero of the whole epic, he is at war. In the war theater, he is supposed to be a warrior, but then he becomes somebody's disciple, somebody's brother, somebody's grandson. Once you get into that kind of confusion, that kind of delusion, then you will not do your duty properly. That's what happens to all of us. To get rid of these mistaken notions about ourselves, that's called moksha, mohasakshay. So, whatever delusions we live under, if we get rid of those, that's the ultimate happiness in human life. And that's the ultimate goal of human life. That's the ultimate goal of all of our pursuits. If we keep that goal always in our mind and then pursue everything else that we are pursuing at any given time, we should get there. I'll stop here for a few minutes and see if there are any questions, comments. Did we address all the 4 points that we had advertised? See? We'll take questions now. So we'll make it more interactive. I don't want to lecture you or bore you with this. So any questions you have, audience here, or maybe somebody from the Zoom meeting? You're most welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question. If you can come on video, that will be great too. And if not, this was great. It was wonderful talking to all of you. I can stop here. I'll stop the recording and then we can just have an interaction with people who are here. Okay?
I think we're not done.
You're not done.
You ask a question.
Oh, you're going to ask you a question. Okay, go ahead, please.
What motivates us, right?
What motivates us?
So, there are some commitments, liabilities, whatever we call it, responsibilities. Sometimes that's the motivation. We might think that.
Can you all hear what he's saying? Are you able to hear what he's saying?
No, if you can repeat the question, please.
No.
No, just 1 second. I'm going to give it to the person who is asking the question to take this off.
Makes sense on that phone.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow, it's
My
turning
question.
big.
No, go ahead. You can speak in this.
That's so cool.
Hi.
Wow.
So what
we have-
motivates us? Every morning we wake up.
Now we'll just brush
Right.
it on.
We think we have a mortgage, we have responsibility, we have liabilities. That's the motivation for the day. Or getting the things done off the book. Check the box.
Correct.
That's the motivation.
Correct.
If we actually start thinking in the philosophical manner, then how practical it is to actually follow that
Fantastic.
in a day-to-day life.
That's a great question. So the question was, our daily motivation, we get up every morning and we want to make sure that we are able to pay our bills, there is food on the plate and all those things, right? So of course, those motivations and those goals will fall within the pleasure, name, fame, fortune, and dharma. So kama, artha, and dharma. The paying the bills motivation is the artha. Okay. So we will pursue these goals. And in fact, we should pursue these goals. While pursuing those goals, we should always remember that we are only playing a role. Like, for example, our roles change in life. So I told you about the 4 purusharthas, the 4 fundamental goals of life. There are 4 stages in life in which we pursue those goals. So in the first stage of life, the pursuit is for acquisition of knowledge, right? That is the brahmacharya ashram. The second goal is, to have a family, to contribute to the society, to contribute to the economy, to do a job or to do a business or whatever and pay our bills, of course. Not only pay the bills for our own family, but in our understanding of the world, we should also pay the bills for our children, brahmachari, the atithi and the sannyasi and the vanaprasthi. So that's the third stage in our life, which is when our children are old enough and they are old enough to pursue their careers, then we take a back seat and we are more in an advisory role or a caretaker role. And then beyond that, where we relinquish or renounce everything. I'm not saying that everybody should wear, a sannyasi outfit and leave the family or whatever. But in our mind, we should be detached. So that's the practice we do once our kids are old enough. So these are the pursuits. Even while we are doing the grihastha ashram, see what happens is after the brahmacharya ashram, after the education stage, when we come into the householder stage, that's when we start enjoying everything. We start enjoying the freedom, we start earning our own money, and we don't have anybody to answer to, our parents to answer. So therefore, we get so rolled into this role of grihastha that most people don't get out of it. So we are so engaged in the world while we are a grihastha, we don't relinquish that as we move further in our life. So yes, practically we have to do whatever we need to do to pay our bills, to pay the mortgage, to pay for our kids' education and all that, and we do all of that. But at the same time, we should realize that we are only playing a role of the grihastha at that time. That's the way I look at it. Thank you. That was a great question. Any other questions anybody from the Zoom meeting has? Happy to answer. No? It's okay. Well, great. Wonderful. Wonderful to have this meeting. And I'll visit with people who are here. But it's great to see all of you. You have a wonderful day wherever you are. And thank you, Praveen, for recording this session. Okay? All right, then. Take care.